Welcome to another Burchfield Penney sketch break, sponsored by Hyatt's All Things Creative. I'm Michaela, our educator for the Burchfield. Today's sketch break is a little bit different. I had started this sketch and it didn't go as planned, so I thought this was a great opportunity to talk about making mistakes in your sketchbook or drawing practice and what you can do to overcome them, and just discuss general quote-unquote mistakes that may come up for you. The first thing you may be thinking when starting a drawing is, where do I start? A blank page can be really intimidating, and I know that when I start a drawing, I need time to plan things out and look at reference photos and just get a better understanding of where I need to start. So for this sketch in particular, you'll notice that I very lightly sketched out some of the bigger areas, and this gives me a good understanding of scale. For your reference, this is a drawing from Charles Burchfield's August Afternoon in the Alleghenies, which just happens to be one of my favorites. Now, if you're looking for more tips on how to start drawing starting with a blank page, watch our most recent sketch break about making a sketchbook out of a single page. Laura goes into detail on how to overcome this fear or anxiety when encountering that white blank page. Now, I know this drawing isn't a part of a sketchbook, but sketchbooks are a big part of my practice. And with that said, they do come with their pros and cons. When I get a new sketchbook, I'm hyped, ready to fill it with all my ideas. But then I have to fill it with all my ideas. Often I forget that keeping a sketchbook isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And taking your time isn't a bad thing. You don't just sign up for a race when you've never run a mile before. So keep this in mind, or you may be in for a letdown. A comment I get from a lot of people when I talk about drawing is that they can't buy materials that are of good quality until they've gotten better using low quality or cheaper materials. Now, I understand their train of thought, and I get it. It can be cost prohibitive to buy more expensive materials. But especially if you are just starting out, using good materials will, in the long run, help you get better and achieve your goals. Lots of artists spend way too much time fighting their materials because they're subpar, and find that they spend more money replacing them than if they had just started off with the good stuff in the first place. So I guess I'm saying, treat yourself, and your future artist self will thank you for it. Now, I just want to make myself clear. There are no magic materials, unless you've used a mechanical eraser, in which case I'm very wrong. But seriously, it's tempting to buy every new paint color, pen, brush, and sketchbook you see or hear about on the internet. When that temptation bites, remember just one thing. Paint, palette, pen, pencil, sketchbook, or other art supplies manufacturers are in the business to sell you their product. And they'll sell you it with the idea that their item is just what you need to make magic. So be cautious and always do your research before you buy your materials. Now, I've been talking about common practices that can hinder progress, not really mistakes. But when you start out, there's going to be mistakes. But a thing to remember every time is to embrace them. Why? Because it means you're learning. If you're an artist that doesn't make a mistake, then you're not really creating, and that's truly the real mistake. Now, on the topic of mistakes, which is a good thing that that's the prompt for today, don't have mistakes hinder your progress. It is so tempting to rip out a page of a book or just throw out the whole book together because you don't like how your drawing turned out. Believe me, I've done it, and it doesn't always feel good. If you come to a point where you think about tossing away a drawing, just stop, take a breath, and just keep at it. And if it does come to the point where there's no return, then just turn the page. You have the whole rest of the book to keep going. Now, back to this topic of tossing away a drawing, which I am big on, and it's a mistake that I make often when I encounter a mistake in a drawing. I find that I regret it afterwards because I'm missing an opportunity to learn from that mistake. So don't be like me. And after you've stopped, took your breath, and you decided to keep drawing, that really just opened a whole new door. Now you can do anything you want to that page because you decided a second ago that you hated it. So do something with that. And at the end, you may like it even more, but if you still hate it, hopefully you learn something. And that's why we're here, right? Okay, so right here is a trick that I've learned when I discover an area that I don't enjoy, but I still want to keep going at it. So I just take a Post-it note to cover up that location. It not only covers up my boo-boo, but it adds a pop of color too. And ideally this works best in the sketchbook, but you really get the idea here from this drawing. So if you noticed the posts on the side of the road, I accidentally shaded the wrong side. So the sunlight is coming in from the right side as I've demarcated with those hatch marks on the trees and the other posts, and I drew it on the wrong side. So adding that Post-it note just gives me another opportunity to fix it since I'm working in a pen and I can't really erase it. So give that a try when you've come to the point of no return in one of your sketches. And you might find that you like it. In this world of social media and sharing images, it's very easy to get sucked into a comparison trap. Please, 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 don't compare your work to someone else. It's been said before by somebody, don't compare your day 1 to someone's year 3, or however it goes. If you need to compare yourself to something, compare it to yourself. So look at your work from today to your work from a week ago or a year ago. More often than not, you're going to see how much you've improved and you're going to get a more positive outcome than if you were to look at somebody else's work altogether. So, another mistake, people forget that they're still learning. And I don't want that to keep you or stop you from pursuing your goals of drawing and making art. So, go out with other people who sketch or have similar interests, learn from them, take classes and workshops, ask questions. That's how you learn and that's how you get better. And you'll probably surprise yourself with how much you already know and with how much you can learn just by just getting out there. And this is my little opportunity to promote some of our awesome programming that we do here at the Burchfield. So we offer tons of classes and workshops that hone your skills, and our website is full of sketch prompts and video tutorials to help you with your sketching or art journey. So check those out if you have a chance. The last thing to keep in mind when sketching and when you join these sketch breaks, just make it fun, or you're just not going to do it. It can be so frustrating to grow new skills, but after time, I've seen so many people that have little to no experience surprise themselves with their sketches simply because they were having fun. And that's really what this is all about. So with that said, I hope you had fun listening to me today and watching this time lapse of this sketch coming together. Join us in 2 weeks for our next sketch break. On the 21st, the sketch prompt will be patterns. So stay tuned for that event. Check out our website for more information about sketch breaks and all of our other videos of past sketch breaks if you're joining us for the first time.